Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Miguel. Miguel is from New Jersey in the USA. So let's see what Miguel has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Hola, amigo, ¿cómo estás?
Hola. Hello. I'm very well. Thank you. Gracias. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited.
Okay, Miguel. So how are you doing today? How's your day been so far?
Well, it's been interesting. I've been sick all this week, but today I do feel a little bit better. Just still not like my energy is still not 100%, but I will get there.
Amazing. So you're feeling better now?
Yes, but I am feeling better.
Amazing, Miguel. So tell me, where are you from?
So my parents are from Puerto Rico. I was born in New York. So I'm bilingual, so I speak Spanish and English. And I also sing in multiple languages.
Wow, amazing. And so you were born in New York and you grew up in New York as well?
I lived in New York till I was about 6. And then I was in Puerto Rico for a few months while my mom was transitioning to move to Philadelphia. She separated from my father. They got divorced. And then, so then the rest of my life, I lived in Philadelphia till I was in college. And then she moved to Florida and I stayed in the Philly area. But then I've lived in New Jersey and Delaware.
I see. But did you spend some time in Puerto Rico as well or not?
I did. When I was very little, and then basically when I was little. But as an adult, I only went back in 2013 was the first time I went back as an adult.
Wow.
So it was very different experience.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And so you have family there still?
Yes. I have lots of cousins. My family is huge, but they're from the bigger side of my family is from my father's side. Mm-hmm. So he's like from 9 brothers and sisters. And so I have lots of aunts and uncles, 2 aunts that have already passed away, but the rest of them are still out there. My father lives in the States, but the rest of my family are out there. I have a lot of cousins out there. I've reunited with cousins that I hadn't seen, actually never met. We only met through Facebook. We connected through Facebook, and then I went to go see them in February, and it was so amazing.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I'm sure you were very well, they accommodate you very well over there for sure.
Yeah, they were so excited to meet me in person, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful. And I found out that I have 2 gay cousins too. Yeah, so that was really cool. I thought I was the only one.
It became more and more exciting.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Miguel, and where are you living right now? Right now you are in Philadelphia or in New York?
I'm in New Jersey, actually.
New Jersey?
Yeah, I'm in South Jersey.
I see. And what's the best part of living there, in your opinion?
Well, you know what? It's nice that it's not that far from the beach, about an hour away. Although I don't like the beaches in Jersey that much, honestly. It's hard when you're used to Caribbean. Yeah. With that crystal clear water and the blues. Oh my word, it's just so amazing. But it's nice. Where I'm at right now is great. I live with my best friend, and it's a safe place to be, and I feel like I feel loved, and I feel like I'm in a good spot right now. I've been going through a lot, so it's nice to be here, going through a divorce right now. So it's wonderful to be in a place where you feel loved and and accepted, and it's always been like that for me here. I used to live here years ago, and so it's like coming full circle. So.
I see. And do you have siblings as well?
What's that?
Do you have siblings as well, brothers and sisters?
I do. There's 10 of us.
10. Big family.
Yes. So most of them from my father's side, because again, he comes from a big family, so he likes to have a big family. My mom only has 3 boys. I'm the middle one. I have a gay son. But then my father has. It was like, have you ever remember the Brady Bunch? Do you remember the show, the Brady Bunch?
Not really.
Not really. The Brady Bunch was a show about 2 blended families coming together. Okay. So a husband and wife, they both lost, I think, their spouses, and then they came together, and each of them had, one of them, the lady, the wife had 3 girls, the husband had 3 boys, and when they came together, they had 6, right? So that's similar to what happened in my family, because my mom had 3 boys. My father, when he remarried, instantly had 3 girls, because the lady, my stepmom, had 3 girls, similar age to the boys. So we were like lined up. And then he had 3 more kids with her. So now there's 9 of us. And then my stepfather has a daughter. So that's why there's 10.
Wow.
Yeah, so a blended family is huge. Hard to keep up with everyone.
I can imagine. I can imagine. You are the only gay one.
And I'm the only gay one. Yeah.
Amazing. And what do you do for a living, Miguel?
Well, I work for T-Mobile. You can see my hat here.
Oh.
I just recently started working for them. I do, that's like my full-time job. And then I have my music that I do as well. I
know you are a singer. I'll look a little bit to your videos on YouTube. Amazing, amazing.
Thank you.
And tell me about your career as a singer. How did it start?
It's very interesting. I remember singing since I was a little kid, like 4 or 5 years old, just singing, wanting to sing and loving to sing. And I remember when I was about maybe 6 years old, I was in a church. My father's a pastor, so I grew up in church. And I remember singing and maybe like leading the congregation. And I was little, and the pastor's wife came over to me and she said, "You keep singing because one day God's going to use you in a great way because you have a gift." And I never, that's left such an impression on me. I never forgot that. And I always, it just was so, amazing that to hear those words of affirmation at such an early age. And as I grew up, I kept singing, in school, and, any opportunity I had to sing, I would sing. And then finally decided to go to college and actually get vocal training. And that's when I went, and did that. And then been singing since, and have 2 albums. Yeah, wow. So it's fun.
Amazing, amazing, Miguel. Right, so are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Yes.
Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my full of random fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to move a little bit before the first question, okay?
Okay, awesome.
Let's do it. Okay, Miguel, so through the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, I always can change, okay? It's all very friendly, okay?
Okay.
First question is, what is the best advice have you ever given?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think the best advice that I've ever given is probably to my kids, and for them to follow the 4 agreements. And the 4 agreements, I don't know if you ever read that book. It's called The 4 Agreements by Miguel Ruiz. Amazing book. And it talks about forgiveness, because forgiveness is for us. It's not for the other person. A lot of people get that mixed up. So I always tell my kids to learn to forgive, because if you learn to forgive, then that won't have any power over you. To do your best, to keep your word. And what was the other one? Now I forgot the first one. I guess to love yourself, for them to just have love for themselves, because if you love yourself and in a healthy way, then you have more love to give, but if you can't love yourself, how can you love someone else, So that's because that would be what I would say.
You say that you have kids?
Yes.
Oh my God, tell me about it.
Okay, so I have a daughter who's 24. My son is 21.
Oh my God, that's something amazing. Wow, 24 years old.
Yeah.
21.
Yeah, and they're gonna turn soon. My daughter will be 25 in June, and my son in July will be 22. And they are my world. I love my kids.
Oh my God, I can see your eyes shining talking about them. That's beautiful, beautiful. Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Next question. Let's do it. Okay, Miguel, next question for you is, which book had a big influence on you?
What book? Okay. Well, one of them was The Four Agreements that I mentioned earlier, but another one is The Secret. That book by Rhonda Rhimes has changed my life. I read that book years ago when I almost lost my voice. I have vocal paralysis, and you can imagine as a singer how that's devastating. And I couldn't even talk. So when the doctor saw me, she put me on vocal rest. It was an ear, nose, and throat doctor specialist who see artists, like who's specialized in seeing people who use their voice to sing. And my boyfriend at the time got me an emergency appointment to see her because I was so hoarse and it was so hard to talk and it would hurt so bad. And if you can just imagine a violinist playing and all of a sudden one of the strings pops, that's how it felt in here.
Wow.
It was really bad. I was on a choir practice and that happened. And I knew something was seriously wrong with me. So she saw me and put me on vocal rest immediately. And then for months I could not speak. I had to take speech therapy and everything. But that book, he gave me that book because this is before my first album came out and I was starting to work on it. And he said, just envision yourself singing, and then the book just helped me to think about, those positive thoughts, and thinking of me being healed and me seeing myself singing and seeing myself, recording, and that this album was going to come to fruition. And I just kept envisioning that. And, people prayed for me and I had a lot of people on my side, supporting me, including my kids who were little at the time. And they knew I couldn't speak to them. So we would just text each other,
Wow.
And so it was a dark time in my life, probably one of the darkest times, but at the same time, it was very revealing and it also changed my life. So reading that book helped me to practice the law of attraction, and to just envision myself in a positive way, to seeing a positive outcome of what I was going through. And so months later, it was amazing what had happened. When I saw my doctor again, she said that they probably would have to perform surgery and it would be 50% chance of success because there was a growth on my vocal folds. And when she saw me months later, after me doing all the self-love and self-discovery, she saw me again and could not believe it. She said it was totally gone.
Wow.
And it was a miracle. And I told her, I said, I'm not surprised. Like I knew that I just saw myself healed, and it was amazing. Yeah.
Wow. And what's the biggest message in the book? It's about for you of persevering, like being strong.
Yeah, it's about, the biggest thing is about law of attraction and about thinking, how you think is how you feel and how your body responds to, because it's such a strong, it's almost like a magnet, like you become like a magnet. So whatever you think about, whether positive or negative, you'll start to attract to yourself. So if you think positive thoughts and you think about yourself being healed, then you let your body respond to that. And the universe starts to work in marvelous ways. And, and I believe that's what happened with me. And so it was so neat to see that, for myself. But yeah, it's a wonderful book. I mean, I recommend that to everyone.
Amazing. Very good. Next question, Miguel. Let's do it. Miguel, before the next question, tell me a little bit about your albums and what was the big inspiration for you to make it happen, both of them?
Awesome. Well, that's a great question because my kids were my inspiration for my first album. Because I was going through all that with my voice, not knowing if I was going to be re-recorded again. It was also a time where I was already separated from my wife and we were going through, that's my first divorce. But because I finally came out, it was just really hard to be in a marriage where I knew that, that I was gay. And so it was like, felt like a bird in a cage. And I finally had the strength to come out. And so we knew we had to part our ways. But it was really hard because I missed my kids so much. And they actually were physically far away. They lived in Montana. We used to live in Philadelphia. And then she remarried and married someone in Montana. So they went very far. So of course I miss my kids terribly because I love them so much, and that was really hard. So this album, my kids when they were little would always go to sleep to music, and that was something that I guess I kind of instilled in them because that's how I sleep. And so I knew that if I can give them something that they can go to sleep with, and they would have me with them in a sense, you know. And so that's why I dedicated the album to them, and they were my inspiration. So when I was able to record this album and have my debut was in 2009, and 2007 is when my kids moved away, and that's when I was going through, you know, my recovery and everything in 2008. So when I finally was able to get the album done, I dedicated it to them with a picture of them on it in the back, and they enjoyed it, they loved it, and they would go to sleep with it. So they would sleep every night with my music.
Amazing. Oh, wow. And nowadays they live in, where they're living, in Montana still?
No, so since my son lives in Seattle, right, a town right outside of Seattle called Issaquah. And he's out there, he has a girlfriend, lovely girlfriend out there, and he is amazing. He's a creator. Like he does videos, he does photo shoots, he does a lot of creative stuff with his passion of pictures, you know, of taking pictures, shooting. And he also works at a dispensary over there. And he's an amazing kid, just so creative and brilliant. And then and people fall in love with him so fast. Like he's amazing. And then my daughter, she's love her so much.
Oh,
she's such a beautiful soul, and she's my princesa, and I call her princesa, you know. And she lives in Kansas with her husband because he's in the army, and so they just got stationed there. That's their base. So in fact, yesterday they had a tornado watch, but she said everything's fine.
wow.
But she's doing well. I'm so proud of her. She's doing school, online school. She's extremely smart, and she's got a sarcastic sense of humor, but I love it. We laugh a lot, and she's just great. You know, I just love her. We always communicate every day. Like I love that about her, and she's got a great husband, and you know, very proud of them.
Beautiful. They'll be very happy to watch the interview and see their dad smiling.
I hope so.
Next question for you is, what scares you the most about your future?
What scares me?
The most about your future?
I think maybe, I don't know if I'm so afraid of it, but I think eventually I come to a place where I feel comfortable being alone right now, but I would like to ultimately have a lifetime partner. So maybe my what I would be scared of is not having that, maybe. But I don't feel fearful right now. But that would be like the only thing that if, you know, so I guess that maybe.
I think it will come with time. I think, you know what I mean, relationship or the deal runs, everything comes in the right time. You know what I mean?
Yes, correct.
I need to trust the universe, God. You need just to trust it and let things come in the right time. That's how it's meant to be.
Correct. I believe that.
Next question, Miguel. Let's do it. All right. Next question is, if someone offered to tell your future, would you accept it or not? And why?
If someone offered to tell me what my future is?
Yeah, about your future. Would you accept or not?
I remember seeing a psychic before, and interesting, I never even asked her that question about my future. I guess maybe I don't want to know. I think I'd rather just go through the process and let it reveal itself to me versus knowing what it could be and then get disappointed if it doesn't happen, or if it's worse, if it's bad news and I don't want that to affect me. So I think I'd rather just, you know, let it happen naturally and just hope for the best and just keep thinking positive.
Very good. Good one. Next question.
All right.
Let's do it. Miguel, before the next question, tell me what do you like the most of being a singer? What's the biggest feeling when you're singing? And also, there's always a challenging part as well. What that would be?
Okay, so what I love about singing is because I get to emote, I get to share what's in my heart. I'm an interpreter of my music, so I do a lot of covers. What I feel like my gift is more of that, of interpretation versus writing. I don't consider myself a writer, although I've done poetry. I think maybe I could, but I just feel like my gift is more emoting and taking a song, interpreting it, and then sharing it with others. So if it hits me, then I like to share it with other people, right? But like the latest song that I uploaded just yesterday is called All I Ever Have to Be, and by Amy Grant, and it's a cover by her. The message of the song is so beautiful because it's like a lot of times we try to be something else, you know, we try to like, and then we get disappointed because we try to be the best we can, and then we feel like, oh, it doesn't work out, or we get disappointed, we're like the worst instead of the best, and things like that. And so this song is so amazing, and I told my kids that I was thinking of them as I sang it, because I want them to be encouraged and to know that your best is all you can give, right? But that you're beautiful as you are, you know, and we all have a light inside of us and that can shine, and we just need to touch the world and just be who we are, because we're beautifully made. No matter, you know, who we are, no matter what our gender is, what our identity is, like we're a beautiful creation, you know, of God. And if we can just believe that, and then we can touch the world with that love, it can change the world, you know? So my songs that I pick, that I choose to sing, that I want to emote, are songs that are, you know, sometimes are about passion, about love, you know, other times are about just yourself, self-reflection. And then other times are about God, you know, and just reaching out and just inspirational. So it's a mixed bag, and I sing in different languages. So sometimes I'll sing in Italian, Spanish,
Wow.
English, you know, so it's fun.
And what's the most challenging part, in your opinion?
Yeah, so the most challenging part would be like, well, COVID, you know, challenge was a big challenge in one way, because performing live was hard. But then I also took that opportunity to create more videos from home, you know, and then I started like doing that, because I was like, well, I can still reach out to people this way, and I can still get my music out there, and probably in bigger ways, you know, because now it's like worldwide versus just, you know, locally. So that was a challenge that I was able to, like, you know, turn around and make it more something that I can. It was an opportunity, making an opportunity versus an obstacle, you know, or adversity. So I think, you know, but it's still, even today, like, I do miss performing live with a band. Like, I used to have an ensemble. We used to travel a lot, like locally, but that was a lot of fun to have an ensemble play for you. It was amazing. Like a little mini orchestra behind you, you know, that's just so beautiful and powerful. I do miss those days. I did that for a few years. So, you know, getting back to that would be something I would like to do. But for now, you know, I work with what I have, and just try to make the best of it.
Okay, good. Okay, next question is, who makes you laugh the most?
Oh my word. Oh, probably my son, because he's really, really funny. I also have another friend that every time we talk on the phone, he makes me laugh too. He's got such a great sense of humor. Yeah, so even my mom, oh my word, I laugh with my mom so much. We can laugh, like crying laughing. Like, it's just funny. Like, we'll think about things, or she might say something with her English accent that might sound different from what she's trying to say, and sometimes I'll laugh about that. I would just, I don't know. It's a mixed bag. Different people make me laugh. I enjoy laughing. It's one of the thrills that I enjoy so much. And I like to be around people who bring that out, you know, who make me laugh. I like to be in that happy space, you know, so it's great whenever I can be around people who are happy people and just like to laugh and, you know, and have a good time.
Laugh always bring good energy, isn't it? Always bring these
Yes.
emotions, beautiful energy that just keeps you in a positive way, in a good mindset.
Yes, indeed.
For sure.
Yes, indeed.
Next question. Let's do it. Okay, Miguel, next question for you is, what was your worst wardrobe mistake?
Oh, worst wardrobe mistake. That's a good one. Oh, I'm trying to think now. Okay. I mean, I thought it was a mistake. Maybe others didn't think so. I don't know. But I remember doing a concert and I felt like, okay, so I hadn't worn this shirt for a long time and I love the shirt. It had a nice print on it. Purple's my favorite color and had purple in it. And when I went to use it, like I used the shirt for my concert and I had a suit jacket on. And with the suit jacket on, it was fine. But then it was hot, the air wasn't working right, whatever. And I took it off and the shirt was like I had gained weight, so it was too small. So then I thought, oh no, I should have kept my jacket on. Because looking at the video, I was like, oh no, that doesn't look good. Because I was always like, before, always had a nice suit on, and it looked proper, it looked good and everything. And I always wear a jacket, like a suit jacket or a tuxedo even. Like I'm more like that when I perform. And I just was so hot that day and I was performing and I was just like, oh, let me take this off. And I was like, oh my God, you should have kept it on. So maybe that would be like what I could recall right away as being, other than that, like I can't think of anything else. I consider myself very fashionable. So I always like make sure I look good and I love wearing bow ties. Like today I'm not wearing one obviously because I'm more relaxed today, but normally, I have a shirt on, I have a bow tie, I have a fedora on. Like wow. That's the way I like to dress. So
very elegant, always very elegant. Good for you, very good, Miguel.
Thank you.
Next question. As you say about performing, tell me one of your best performers that you go like, oh my God, that was something that I'll never forget because of the audience, because of the day, something special that you think, okay, that was one of my best performers, if you can share.
Okay, so, I think that would be back in maybe 2007, 2007, maybe before I got sick. I had done a concert. It was one of my first like big concerts where I had like a nice ensemble that played for me. And I sang this song and it was just really touching. It was called When Answers Aren't Enough. And I remember how the audience responded to it. And this one lady in particular afterwards, like she said that it touched her so much, and she just cried. And the song was about having the encouragement, knowing that no matter what we're going through, that, sometimes when answers aren't enough, like you might have faith and you might, even recite verses from the Bible and things like that. And somebody might try to encourage you and it's still just somehow that's still not enough. But then when you remember that you're not alone and God is there with you and, and he's going to pull you through it. And then all of a sudden, like that anchors you, that holds you together. And then you're able to go through whatever you're going through, knowing that you have that, like you're not alone, you have God, you have the universe, you have people that love you and surround you. And so when I performed that song, I remember the reaction, the response that people gave me. And until to this day, some people still really love that song. And it's an older song. Like that song was like probably from the 80s. But I tend to find music that has been sort of forgotten and I kind of rebirth them. So I kind of give them new life and then I put my own spin to them. So they sound original when I sing them, even though they're not. But I just like if the message is so true today, then I like to remind people of it. You know what I mean? Because that's what I love about music. It's so universal, and it touches so many people in so many ways. And there's so many gems out there that people even have never heard of, or like I just want to bring new life to it. And so sometimes I do that. It's sort of like a challenge of mine to find like stuff that people haven't heard or have forgotten about, and then I just kind of bring it, to the surface again, because that's what I love about music. Like it's a legacy, that you leave behind.
And in that specific performer that you mentioned now, were you wearing bow tie?
Yes, I was. Well, actually, not a bow tie. I was wearing. No, wait a minute. Okay, so I do this. So during intermission, I'll change.
Okay.
It's such a diva. So I'll have one outfit, one tuxedo, and then I'll come back with a different one. So I don't remember which one I was wearing at the time, but I start with the tie, with the bow tie, and maybe a long tail, and then on the next half, I'll have a shorter tuxedo on, and I do remember wearing a red shirt and maybe either a red tie or a red bow tie. So could have been a bow tie, but it could have been also a tie.
I'm just teasing you.
No, it's okay. But it's funny that you said that, because I do like to change. Plus, since I sing with like my whole body and everything, because I'm classically trained, you just like everything comes out of you. And then so it's like a workout. So then when you're done, like, and you have that intermission time, I'm hot and I just want to get refreshed. So then I put something else on. But it's for two reasons. It's not just so much for the flashiness of it, but it's also because when I feel refreshed and I put something else on, and so.
As you say, a proper diva. Next question for you is: what is your most embarrassing moment?
Embarrassing moment. Oh, I've had a few of those, but my most embarrassing. Okay, so I used to work for a company called Comcast or Xfinity for many years, and when I switched to a different company, I would make cold calls, in sales. So the embarrassment would be that I would say the other company instead of the new company I was working with.
Oh my God.
So that was so embarrassing, because I was like, oh, I don't work for them anymore. And it was a totally different type of industry. So I was working in the medical now industry, and I'm talking about cable and Wi-Fi and all this stuff. By saying who I was working for, it was so embarrassing that I had to like stop. One time I just hung up because I was like, that's not who I work for anymore. But you get so used to doing it, like it just automatic, right? Absolutely. And I wasn't even thinking when I would just, hello, this is Miguel, and I said it from Xfinity, and I'm like, I don't work for them anymore. What am I saying? That was one of it's the one I can remember right off, but there's been plenty of other stuff I've done. That's been embarrassing, but
that's amazing. Okay, Miguel, I have 3 questions left for you, okay? Let's do it. Okay, Miguel, next question for you is, what was the biggest punishment have you ever received?
Punishment?
Yeah, the biggest one.
Ooh, the biggest punishment that I have received?
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings me back to my childhood. And remember I told you I have 2 brothers from my mom's side.
All right.
Well, I remember my 2 brothers fighting. We were young. We were like, I don't know, maybe middle school age. Now my older brother is almost 3 years older. My younger brother's 2 years younger than me, and I'm smack in the middle. So they were both like getting into a fist fight, and I don't know why. But then I got in between them, and I was like trying to stop them. Well, guess who got the black eye? Because one of my brothers went to hit the other one. I can't remember which one, but I got the black eye. So I got punched in the face because I was trying to get in between them. Well, then I was trying to hide it from my mom.
Oh my God.
So for a few days, I would come home from school and just run to my room so that she wouldn't see my black eye, because I didn't want her to ask me how I got that black eye. And because I didn't want to tell my brothers. So, and then they were trying to like keep everything hush hush. Well, after a few days, of course, you can only hide that for so long. And the black eye got worse because, you know, it gets worse. Like it starts to turn colors. Like, so my mom finally found, you know, saw my eye and she was like, what happened to you? And I still didn't want to tell her. So she lined up the three of us. And she said, okay, if you don't tell me how you got this black eye, all of you are going to get in trouble.
Wow.
So my mom was not playing. She wanted to know what was the truth, and she wanted to find out. And my biggest punishment then was that I still didn't want to tell her. So we all got in trouble. So we all got a spanking because I wouldn't say the truth. And I didn't want to say the truth because I didn't want my brothers to get in trouble. So I was trying to protect them. And at the same time, we all got punished anyway.
You got the double of the punishment yourself for being a good boy.
I did. I got punched, plus I got spanking.
Oh, good boy. You're a good guy. That's why your heart was nice one.
Thank you.
Miguel, I have 2 questions left, okay?
Okay.
Let's do it. But before the next question, as I could see, you know what I mean, how emotional when you're talking about your kids. Tell me the most beautiful lesson you've learned from them so far.
Oh, I think the biggest thing is unconditional love. That's my biggest lesson that I learned from my kids, is to love them unconditionally, but also to love them in the way they receive love. So there's this fabulous book called The 5 Love Languages, and by Gary Chapman. I recommend that to everyone, especially when you're trying to figure out if you're in a relationship and you're trying to figure out how to love that person, but it works with the kids as well. And so I learned to love my kids according to how they receive love, because everyone's different. And, you know, and like my daughter, quality time and gifts are how she receives love. And I learned that early on when she was young, because I'm very touchy, like physical touch and words of affirmation are my love languages. And I will want to, you know, my daughter, like, you know, she's my princess. I wanted to cuddle with her and hold her and be all, you know, physical with that way with her, affection like that. But she's not like that. So at first I felt like offended. I was like, oh, this is my daughter, you know, and why, you know, I almost felt rejected. But then I realized that's just not how she receives love. So when I figured out how she does, then we had magical moments together. Like we would watch like X-Men and Avengers and all this stuff that she's so into Marvel to this day. And we started that when she was little, and we would go to movies together. We would go shopping together, and I would shower on her with gifts, and she just loves that. And she still to this day loves spending time with me that way. And then my son, he receives love like I do. So he's physical. He's still to this day, he's 21. He'll still give me a kiss. Like my son's still affectionate with me, and I love that. And we hug and we feed off each other without even thinking about it, because we both receive love the same way. So it's easier that way. But because I've learned to love my kids, so when they receive love, we've gotten closer together, you know, so over the years. So learning to love them unconditionally and then learning to love them according to how they receive love is my biggest lesson that I've learned with loving my kids.
Amazing. Very beautiful.
Thank you.
Next question for you is, if you could do something illegal without getting caught, what would you do?
What a question. Oh, that's a loaded question for me, because I can't even think illegally. I'm always the opposite. Like, you can't do that.
I can change the question. I can always change, Miguel, if you want to. I can change this one if you'd like to.
No, it's a good question. It's a good question, because, you know, sometimes you think about it, I guess. Illegal. If I would do something illegal, what would it be? I think maybe to stay longer in a Okay, so I just had an amazing vacation. I was in Puerto Rico, then I went to Isla Mujeres, Mexico. And then I went to Florida. But when I was in Mexico, I felt like I was in paradise. I just wanted to stay there. But I knew I couldn't because I get on a flight and going back, and also don't have, like, you know, when you travel internationally like that, you have to fill out the information, and you have to say how long you're there and stuff like that. So I knew legally I couldn't stay longer, but if I could, I would, because I did not want to leave. I did not want to leave. Like, I just want to stay there, and I knew I couldn't. I knew I had to leave, but it would be illegal for me to stay. So I guess that's the way I would think about it. Like, I would be like, you know, like, if you come to the United States and you're not from here, you know, and your visa ran out, you know, you have to leave before that visa runs out. So it sort of felt that way. Like, I knew I had to get on that ferry. I had to go back to the airport, but I did not want to leave at all. William, I was like in paradise. I was like, I want to stay here forever. But I knew I couldn't.
Good answer. I like your answer.
Okay.
Miguel, ready for the last one?
Yes.
Last question. Let's do it. But before the last question, people watching the interview, would you like to start a career as a singer? They know they have their gift to be a singer. What will be your best piece of advice?
I would say to them to follow their dreams, to continue to work on their craft, you know, sing with passion, like sing with something that really means something to you. Because when you're singing and it's real to you, that's gonna transpire to someone else. Someone else is gonna feel that, you know. But that would be my biggest thing. And to also remember that there's gonna be obstacles, because there's always obstacles. And just learn to maybe see how those obstacles can become an opportunity to maybe do something different, or maybe to include someone else. You know, sometimes, you know, we can't do it all on our own. Like, we always need someone with help. But in my case, it's more of the technical side. Like, the performance I can do, but then getting that performance on YouTube, you know, and getting it out there, you know, on social media, and the technical part of it, you know, putting it all together that way, and clipping this and putting that together. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that people don't realize. And when you're an independent artist, it's all on you. Like, there's so much that you have to do. So at that point is where I learned how to use my resources and find other people that can help me. Like Nigel Battle, for instance. You interviewed him, and he's been an amazing friend to me, and also an amazing coach. And I've learned so much from him. And I thank God that I have him in my life. So, you know, so learning to find your resources to help you fuel your the energy that you have for your music and for that passion, and to just keep doing it no matter what, because you're always going to touch someone with your music, and if you're passionate about it, especially.
Amazing. Nigel, send my kiss to you, Nigel. He was so sweet in the interview. He was so nice, so very approachable. I remember when I approached him, he was so kind and sweet. Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Last question for you is, what keeps you up at night?
Oh, well, what used to keep me up at night is, you know, it's kind of personal, just going through my next stage in life, you know, and walking through and hoping that his next chapter, you know, ends soon, so that I can continue having my new liberation, you know, as far as my status, you know, of being a free man again. So that for a while had kept me up, but now I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and that's looking really good. So it's no longer weighing on me, and I feel a sense of freedom already. But that was something, I guess, that was weighing on me for a little while. I feel that that now that that's coming to an end, that it's refreshing, and it just feels good to, especially now, you know, the weather now is getting better. It's springtime, Easter just happened, and I think it's just time for new life and rebirth and starting over again, and that's exciting. So I'm leaning towards that, thinking about that, and letting go of the past, learning from those mistakes, lessons learned, right? No regrets, lessons learned.
Always, always. Saying
Yes.
that, Miguel, do you consider yourself to be more of a day or a night person?
Wow, I'm kind of both. I am a morning person.
Mhm.
Like I don't need a whole lot of time in the morning to feel like I need to wake up. Coffee always helps, but I like to ease in my day. So I try to get up earlier than I have to so that I can ease in. And that way I don't feel rushed. I hate to feel rushed. Like that's one thing I don't like. I like to ease in my day and just take my time. But then I'm also a night owl, so I can be up. Like it's incredible. So I think I learned to be both because of my kids.
Uh-huh.
My daughter's a night owl. She's naturally like that. And my son was the opposite.
Wow.
He was an early bird. And I remember when he would want to watch movies with my daughter and I. And we would both laugh because we knew he was going to fall asleep. But then the next morning, he will be the first one up, like at 6:30 in the morning when everyone's still sleeping and wanted to be up and do things. And we're like, oh, Timothy, go back to bed. So as a result, because I'm the father, I had to get up anyway because he was up. So I learned to be an early bird and also be a night owl. So I do both. I mean, I'm both. I'm actually both. It's kind of cool because I can hang with people who like to hang and I can get up early when people like to get up early. So I can do both.
Very good. It's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words. Just tell me one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Okay.
So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Family.
What's that?
Family.
Family. Kids.
One word for money.
Dinero.
How about love?
My kids.
Life.
Singing.
One word for sex.
Passion.
Politics.
Equality.
Religion.
Spirituality.
Fear.
Unknown.
Friendship.
Everlasting.
Desire.
Heart.
Regret.
Lessons learned.
One word for success.
Being true to myself.
One word for wish.
Partnership.
Happiness.
Being me.
One word for New Jersey.
Haven of rest.
One word for USA.
Freedom.
How about Puerto Rico? One word.
Encanto.
Oh, I love this word, encanto. One word for music.
Life.
And the last one now, singer. One word.
Passion.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your kids for a coffee, and I'm going to ask them, tell me the most beautiful thing about your dad, and tell me something that he still needs to work on, to improve on, what they would say.
Ooh, okay. So who are you meeting with first?
I'm gonna meet your daughter. I'm gonna be a gentleman. I'm gonna meet her first.
Okay, all right, so you can meet with my daughter. All right, so I'm Victoria. Okay. I think she would say that that I'm a loving person, and she would say that I need to work on learning to maybe stand up more for myself, and not to let people roll over me.
How about your son? Would be the same answer or would be a different answer?
My son would probably say that he admires my my tenacity, and he always admires how I keep going no matter what happens in life. And I think that he would also tell me to make sure I take time for me, because I tend to do a lot for others. So I think that he would also say, you know, Bobby, to you know, to take me time.
I see. Oh, sweet, very sweet.
Yeah.
Miguel, let's play now. Miguel in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before that,
Awesome.
let's play the music one more time. Okay, but before you ask me a question, tell me, what is your favorite Spanish word or phrase?
Okay, it will be no me digas.
No me digas.
No me digas. I say that all the time. And people make fun of me. I even got a shirt that with that phrase on it that was given to me.
No me digas.
No me digas.
Love it. Okay, Miguel, you can ask me a question now.
Okay, so I'm curious, how was your coming out for you? Like, when did that happen for you? How old were you? And did your family, were they supportive?
I love the question. Amazing. I love the question. Okay, Miguel. Saying that, I left Brazil when I was 19 years old. When I was very young, I moved to Portugal in Europe, and I've been living on my own since I was very young, since 19. And when I was 18, I was already living on my own in the capital of my state. I was studying at the time. So I've been always very independent, yeah. So my family, I always been very, let's say, free. My family, they never had this pressure of, you know what I mean, asking what I like, what I'm doing, things like that. I remember my dad, when I was in Portugal, I remember the first 2 years when I was calling him. Of course, you know, he's a man. He was like, oh, how about the girls there? How's the girls? This and that. This kind of conversation, yeah. I never lied, but I never said the truth. So I was like, oh, Dad, I'm so busy. I'm working out. I'm not going out that much, which was true. But I was running away of the conversation, yeah? Yeah. But they never kind of put me in the spot, like, okay, you know, what do you like or what you up to? Saying that, I never had this pressure of coming out or, you know what I mean, or expressing myself the way I was. So I always think I never had this pressure on my shoulders. But this, the first time when I talked to my mom about it was, let's say, I think 8 years ago, more or less. I had a boyfriend at the time, and he was very open to his mom. He was very open, my last boyfriend. And his mom, I remember the first time he went to a gay bar was with his mom. His mom brought him there. Can you imagine how amazing? So when I started a relationship with him, I could see how open he was with his mom about that. And I just naturally felt like open up with my mom. And I'll tell you how it happened. Okay. Of course, it's always very difficult, you know, it's all very hard because it's here. It's difficult for you to put it out, you know? So what I did, I said to my mom, okay, I just wake up one day. I was like, okay, I'm going to tell my mom today. So what I did, I wrote a message on WhatsApp. I said, Mom, are you free? And I was like, oh my God, I started feeling this feeling of, oh my God, what's she gonna say, you know? And she said, oh yes, I'm free, what happened? I was like, okay, how am I gonna get there? So I went around, like, sending messages. I was like, oh Mom, you know, when we were born, you don't choose to, you know what I mean, to come to these words. You don't choose a nationality. You don't choose to be a man, to be a girl. This kind of conversation. And she was like, yes, I know all of that. So what's going on, you know? And I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to get there. So I put a hot potato in her hand. So I said to her, Mom, you know what I'm talking about, don't you? And she replied to me, said, it's about your sexuality or I'm wrong? So when she said that, all by message, when she said that, I just pick up the phone and I call her straight away. And she was laughing over the phone. She was like, oh my God, you've been trying to talk to think about something about your life. And I could see what you're trying. And you're going around. So she was laughing. And I started laughing as well on the phone. So she just said, okay, my son, I always knew it. Yeah, I never asked this question to you because it's your private life. It's about you. I knew one day you'd talk to me. And I knew you would be there. So that's not a problem. There's not a big deal, of course, and there's not a problem at all. And we started laughing about between us because, it was very chilled. It was very special because she was laughing. She could see myself going around.
Yeah.
She was already making fun of it. So yeah, when I called her, we started laughing over the phone, and she said, "Oh my God, of course, nothing's gonna change. I always knew, and anyway, I'm here for you. I always will be, and there's no change, nothing, and everything will be the same." So yeah, that was the day when I came out. But saying that, I knew that she would be very supportive as well, my dad. So I never, but of course, it's very difficult to talk about. It's hard, you know what I mean? Even though you know that they're going to accept you or they're going to react the positive way, but it's very difficult to go to the point. It's very difficult and hard for sure. So yes, Miguel, that was the day when I came out. That was
That's so awesome that you have parents like that. That's so beautiful.
Absolutely, and you're very supportive as well, you know. So that's I think it's a plus when you have parents that they support you. But I was very lucky because growing up, I remember as a child, you know what I mean. My parents, they were very they let me be myself, like free. You know, remember, like even going to the church. My mom thought I would be a priest because I was going to the church all the time.
Wow.
Yeah, she did. She thought, oh, you're gonna marry a blonde lady, a blonde girl, or you're gonna be a priest? Because I don't know if you know Xuxa, the Brazilian entertainer Xuxa. She's like it's for kids. She was entertainer for kids. So I grew up with her in the 80s, and she was this blondish, beautiful, like Barbie. So I was watching her every day. My mom said, "Oh, you're gonna marry a blonde girl, or you're gonna become a priest," because I was at the church all the time. But so it didn't happen either way. But so yeah, so that's I was always been very fortunate because I had this. I've been brought up as be free, just be free, be yourself. So I always had this this background with my family, with my parents as well. So yeah, I was very fortunate and very lucky regarding that, for sure.
Yes, for sure. That's an amazing story. I love it. Love it.
Thank you very much. Miguel, did you have a good time? Did you enjoy the interview?
Yes, this has been so much fun. I loved it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time today for the interview. I really appreciate that. I know you've been sick, but even that, you take the time for the interview. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
Before you go, if you can share a positive message or a positive quote, something that inspires in life.
I would say to love yourself first, because when you love yourself first, you'll have love to give. And that's one thing that I had to learn, and so if that's the encouragement that I would give other people, learn to love yourself first. Sometimes we think that that's a selfish thing to do, because we're taught to so much, to give unto others and to help others. And that's all true. And you need to do those things. But if you don't love yourself, then you're going to get drained and you're not going to have enough to give to anyone else. So you have to first, just like, when you're in an airplane and they say an emergency situation and the oxygen comes down, what do they say first? You have to put it on yourself first before you can help someone else, right? Yep. So think of it that way too. When you love yourself, if you love yourself enough, you're going to overflow, and then you'll be able to love others in a healthy way without it draining you.
Amazing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Miguel, with regards to you, to your kids, to your family, say hello to Nigel as well.
Thank you. I will.
And you keep in touch, okay? Enjoy your weekend. And it was a pleasure to have you on the show. Thanks so much for the interview, okay?
Thank you. Obrigado.
Obrigado. Tchau, tchau. Take care.
Adios.
Adios. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first subscribe to our channel, and after that just go to our website www.williamandthemagicbox.com and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show, and I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.